Welcome to Epic Stock Due Diligence. Please subscribe at youtube.com/EpicStockDD. Thank you.
Hey everyone, Ed here. Welcome to Epic Stock Due Diligence. Wanted to use a recent example as a talking point for this channel, and this involves a penny stock reinstatement. Now, reinstatement, when it comes to the stock market, basically means that this particular company that was inactive for an extended period of time all of a sudden became reinstated. And reinstatement in any realm, in particular the microcap stock realm, translates to the possibility of possibly awesome news. Now this particular ticker, and I'll use the example after the fact just to illustrate how this looks on a chart. We'll switch over to a chart here in a minute. But this ticker symbol is IDGC, Indigo Delta Gamma Charlie. And it was reinstated on November the 8th. Prior to that, it was at a price of 0001. Throughout the course of a few days, it went as high as 0075, so .0075. So to put that into perspective here, let me bust open my my calculator app on my phone here. Bear with me for just a second. So say, for example, someone had invested $100 when it was 0001 on the ask. So they had, there's commission, $8, $10, whatever it may be. So they had about 1 million shares. If they rode those 1 million shares to the high of .0075, that $100 investment, if they were able to exit at .0075, would have been $7,500. So that's a huge percentage increase. So someone that simply had $100 would have potentially been able to exit for $7,500. That's incredible. But now let's get back and talk about why this reinstatement is a great example. Now I'm going to kind of zoom myself down, and we're going to look at this chart, and you're going to see the activity here. Now, looking at this chart, you'll see that prior to November the 8th, when the reinstatement occurred, that the price was around 0001 per share, and you can see where it spiked to .0075. So it's quite incredible. Now, there's a lot of stuff that goes along with this. Now, as I've explained in all of my videos, and will continue to explain, the microcap stock market, the pink sheets, the over-the-counter, the whatever you want to call it, the garbage stocks, there's a ton of manipulation. So, sure, a company becoming reinstated could be perceived as a very bullish sign. And I agree, it is. Because typically a company wouldn't take the time to reinstate for no valid business reason. But what happens is that when something like this happens, and obviously I'm not going to point fingers at particular traders, there's a lot of good traders out there, there's a lot of traders out there with unethical intent. But what seems to have happened, at least with this play, and this is a great example, is that there was the reinstatement news, and that got out. Somebody discovered that. They were running some scans. They're like, wow, reinstated on by the Nevada Secretary of State on November the 8th. And then everybody, forums and everywhere, Twitter, you name it, the word got out. The price per share rapidly appreciated. This stock, the share structure, enabled it to run very quickly, as you can see. I mean, from 0001 to .0075 in a few days, that is absolutely incredible. But you got to break it down. You got to look at it, like I said, like this channel teaches. Do your own due diligence. Well, I'm providing everyone with some due diligence for my behalf, and this was an educational opportunity. And basically, if you broke this one down, you would see that there was a lot of alleged pump associated with it. So the fact that it was reinstated, one could verify that by going to the Nevada Secretary of State website and looking at this particular ticker symbol. That's a fact, unless the Secretary of State was lying, and I doubt that's the case. Where the embellishment came into play is that, oh, this is going to merge with whatever, this, that, and the other, and there was a lot of talks in the forums, Twitter, etc., people trying to jump the gun and make these these very colorful assumptions as to what was likely going to happen, why this reinstatement occurred. Could those come true? Possibly. But what you've seen the peak at 0075, and then you've started to see it decline. Now it's back in the 002 territory, and I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't go back in the 000 territory. Now, is something like this going to continue? Is it going to be a dead dog in 000 forever? Who knows? When and if the company releases verifiable next step plans, why do they reinstate? If they provide some official news as to why they reinstated, and it's something that's perceived as bullish among traders, the price per share of the stock could rise rapidly. So it's a great example of how people take verifiable news. The stock was reinstated. They embellish it, or what most of us perceived as being embellishment. It goes up quickly as a result of that. Embellishment, by the way, is just a fancy way of saying pump. And then when people start to dig in and try to validate these claims, they can't do it. Maybe they call the transfer agent. Transfer agent's gagged, but people in the forums and Twitter said this is a share structure. Stuff like that. The alleged merger candidate, the company that they're allegedly going to merge with, call the company, can't get in touch with them. But Joe Bob on the forums and Twitter swears up and down that, oh, I spoke with so-and-so. You know, it's that kind of stuff. So again, always do your due diligence. The penny stock realm is very sketchy. There's a huge opportunity for huge percentage gains. But there's a huge opportunity to fall victim and start, as they say, drink the Kool-Aid. You know, always put in what you expect to lose. Have an exit strategy. And be prepared to, 99% of the time, the news that you initially see, after you do your own research, there's probably going to be some holes in it. And the more people that find those holes, the more quickly that stock starts to get dumped. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Just another one of my videos. If you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to do so. It's youtube.com/EpicStockDD. And if you'd like to as well, if you've got an iPad, feel free to check out my book. My book is The Penny Stock Perfectionist. And I've got a link within this video's description. It's available on the Apple iTunes Store. And I appreciate you watching, and feel free to share this video and all of my videos with others. Y'all have a good day.